Yeah?
Yes.
Jesus.
Okay, this is apparently a horror show. What do you have to say, David? Disregard listeners.
You should introduce the podcast. Sorry, just let me.
Yeah, I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, hang on a second. Oh, could have just.
The podcast needs introduction anymore. We're so famous and known that you don't need to introduce it anymore.
Should I do it?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go for it. Let's go, son.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to And That's Why We're Not Together, starring David McSavage and Hannah Andrews.
And please welcome on sound and vision, Daniel Andrews. There he is, folks.
Thank you.
We tried to move a big couch today from our neighbor Peter's. From our neighbor Peter's house, right? Okay, I just have to. Sorry. From our neighbor. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm a bit distracted. From our neighbor Peter's house. Okay, and it was a big couch. Then Hannah contacted one of her exes, who lent her a van, and then I paid these two dudes 25 euro each to move this big couch, and it was a big motherfucking couch for some reason. I thought it was heavy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And these guys, you try to connect with these two dudes, and they look like they're just back from the front in some war. They're
Lithuanian.
They don't talk that much, How you doing? It's just no expression or something. So they dragged the bloody thing out, and this guy's he's small. He's not tall, but he's strong. He is strong. This dude. This is what they do. They move fucking couches, and I saw them. It's such an effort.
That's why they don't smile.
Because
if you've been moving couches all day long, you wouldn't be smiling either.
I tried to be a mover once in New York back in 1989 or something. Fuck me. I stuck it out for about 2 days. I was only a skinny little kid, a 21-year-old, and I couldn't do it. These guys, okay, they're moving stuff up 4 floors, huffing and puffing stuff. I mean, it's proper. You need to be properly strong, properly well fed, and fit. You want to have muscles. You want to be grown up on a farm and used to physical labor on a daily basis. Like the thing is, people who work out, you're doing it, 3-4 times a week for an hour. But some dudes would be working 8 hours on a farm. So there's a massive difference between farmer strength and gym strength.
So
I'm just saying, some of these farmers, they are tough.
Yeah, but
anyway, these dudes. One guy, I don't know what his name is, but one guy, he was picking this thing up and he was shoving it out the door. Anyway, we got to Daniel's apartment block, or I didn't. I gave them an extra 20 euro because I didn't want to fucking deal with it. 50 fucking euro. They got to Daniel's apartment block with his big couch, which is 7 foot on its, and they couldn't get it into the fucking elevator. And of course, Daniel lives 6 floors up. And then a guy, and those guys, they know the crack. They looked at the elevator, looked at the couch, and they just said, "It's not." They didn't need to even try to put. They just can tell it's not going to fit into the elevator. Which is annoying as fuck, actually. I wish they had elevators that were anyway.
Yeah,
and then they could. I mean, you could have brought that up 6 flights of stairs in Egyptian times. When you think about, they've made pyramids and they're dragging stones and everything. But 2024, we're fucked. We can't. Anyway, it's a pity that they don't have some kind of contingency for lugging up big pieces of furniture up to your 6th floor. If you had some kind of pulley system or.
You have in Amsterdam.
You have in Amsterdam. Okay, so the couch is now in the reception area of Daniel's
in the hall. There's no reception.
The hallway of Daniel's apartment block. But actually, it kind of looks like it should be there, although it's very big. But it's a shame because Daniel has a fucking couch, and it's a black leather kind of couch. Really sort of looks like from Ranelagh in the 80s.
Bedsit.
Thank you, Daniel. The fucking couch reminds me of some shite thing in a bedsit. It's just a grubby little. It would have been. It's the kind of couch like in 1982 people would have gone, wow.
Yeah, and it's
45 years ago
as well.
Bedsits. You remember that bedsit that some guy was renting out near your school? What a shithole! I'm sorry, but like. Some people seem to be impressed with certain people who own lots of houses and divide them up into squalid little bedsits. But what a shite way of making a fucking living. I mean, okay, yeah, you make a living. I'm not impressed. And all this stuff about politicians this week, and they're going on about housing and this and housing that. Yeah, affordable housing, and they're saying all the right things. But actually, the status quo of the whole housing system, people love it. Like the people in power or the people with money. Or people who own houses, they love the fact that that there's not enough housing, because their profits depend on that. So we're so in denial. Look, I don't own a fucking house, but if I owned a house, I'd be as corrupt as the rest of them. Why? Anyway, go on, Daniel. Say something. I'm so angry with the couch. We couldn't get the couch in. You know what I mean? But we do have a nice table in Daniel's place. But it's a pity. It would have been a nice fucking couch if we could get it up 6 flights of fucking stairs.
But maybe you can pull it apart.
Okay, so this couch, God knows where this couch could have been. Yeah. Okay, so let's walk through that a suggestion. So this couch, God knows where, probably 1,400 quid. It'd be interesting to find out how much it costs.
Peter said that it's an expensive.
Okay,
piece
so
of
could have
furniture.
been 1,400 quid, and we couldn't get it up to the fucking apartment.
But did you
and
try
then Hannah,
to fit it? Oh, it's
and
just
then
you rely.
and then Hannah,
you rely
and then Hannah,
on the opinion of some
and then
Lithuanian dude.
And then Hannah, her suggestion is, can't you pull the couch apart and carry it up into pieces? First of all, it was probably put together, like nailed and glued and so on. So to peel apart the fabric and then undo the...
To peel apart fabric.
Anyway, listen, great suggestion. So the couch is there in the reception area. Or the hallway, the entrance to this apartment block. So that's it.
Yeah, there's no reception. There's no guy greeting anyone. That's only in New York, I think. Or in those really upmarket East Village sort of.
Anyway, the day defeated us. We were beaten down by the day. So that's the first news.
And the other news, Gerard Hutch didn't appear on our podcast. Let me.
Did I say what he replied?
No, he did. Did he?
No, did I say though the last podcast?
No, you didn't, because
okay.
He replied a day later.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, Hannah,
What? Stop coughing. It's like an old person.
Oh God, I've got a cold, obviously.
A man's flu. When men have a flu, he goes to bed for 3 weeks. It's just like when women giving birth, the man is just going, to the jungle. There's a tribe that when the woman is giving birth, the men go to the jungle and pretends that he's giving birth. And he disappears for 3 weeks. Did you know that?
Okay. Huh?
There's a tribe in Africa that when the woman is giving birth, man goes to the jungle for 3 weeks and pretends that he's doing all the jobs.
Daniel,
giving birth.
Daniel, I just hope maybe another way, like people tune into podcasts for different reasons. Maybe people will tune into this podcast to fall asleep to. Maybe that's the good thing about Hannah. And we really have to specialize in not being clever or smart or whatever. We're trying to hit some sort of niche, or as Americans say, niche. That's really not my niche. It's niche, isn't it? Niche, or is it NICTH? I don't think it's niche. Anyway, it's funny. I saw Ruby looking out the window at birds. And this magpie lands in front of Ruby, and Ruby's looking at the magpie and making bird sounds. And I think it's some kind of instinctive reaction. They try to lull the bird into some false sense of security and make the sound of a bird. And then when the bird isn't threatened, they pounce on the bird. So Ruby's looking, people who own cats will know this phenomenon. So Ruby's looking out into the street, bird lands, and Ruby's like, have you seen Ruby do that?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then they remind me of these young woke men nowadays, these male feminists, you know what I mean? And they also when they're with women, they sort of effeminize and they demasculate their voices. Hey, how you doing? Let's go and have some kebabs in the park. And they want it, so they trick women into a false sense of security. But they're the ones you need to be careful of. They're the ones who will pounce. So those woke guys, don't trust them, ladies. They're like cats looking out windows at birds going.
But the difference
That's what woke guys are. They're so full of shit.
But
They're
cats
such
are
liars.
cute.
And by the way, here's another thing.
They're not cute.
Gerard Hutch. I make fun and take the piss in Gerard Hutch. No problem. Writes back, hey, funny, and he's supposed to be a crime boss. Meanwhile, if you make fun of certain things, and the little woke crowd, the comedy community, they're much more vindictive and vicious and more likely to try and assassinate your job or your potential to do well than any fucking crime. Doesn't that say something about the social order nowadays? Like people go on about Gerard Hutch. Go down to any fucking comedy club and you'll see mad cunts fucking just, how dare you?
I think
go
Hutch,
fuck yourself.
Yes, I agree.
Daniel,
Gerard Hutch
can anybody
is at least a man, and if he shoots you dead.
Allegedly. Not even allegedly. Hannah.
And all the other semi-successful comedians that just ruin your life forever. So,
Hannah, I am a semi-successful comedian.
They are also semi-successful.
Even the top comedians, even like Tommy Tiernan or whatever. No, what I'm saying is, he probably earns good money. But he's not that much more rich than a senior counselor, like a lawyer. And these people,
I think lawyers much more
make more money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just saying the
It's
comedy
richer.
thing, the stand-up comedy thing, but the little cliques and the fear and the bullshit and the mean-spiritedness. Oh yes, hopefully we'll have Willa White and Eric Lawler here next Wednesday, which will be great. Long overdue. Looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I just did a
really
gig.
funny.
I just did a gig with Willa. Willa and Al Porter in the Dún Laoghaire Comedy Festival in the Maritime Museum in Dún Laoghaire, and it was called Alcoholics Unanimous or something like that, and it was a good. We had a good chat. It was, and I met an old school friend that I hadn't seen in 40 years, which is pretty cool as well. I literally hadn't seen him in 40 years.
And how did you feel after seeing him?
Well, it was a kind of emotional. It was quite nice, because I was good mates with him, and I'm afraid to say his name, but maybe I shouldn't. It doesn't matter.
No, don't say his
Anyway,
name.
It was great to see him. It was quite. It's a long time. 40 years. It's a lifetime.
Yeah. Did he invite you home?
Yeah, he invited me back to his gaff, and we had a cup of tea, and we caught up as much as we could. We were chatting for about 2 hours. Met his wife, very sound. He's done very well. I think he is in construction or something like that, but he's done well. And it's funny because when I knew him, we were both smoking and getting stoned and all that kind of stuff. But he kind of copped on. He had a very entrepreneurial streak. I saw no sign of when I was a kid. I certainly didn't have it. But certain guys copped on quite early. Like there were certain guys in my classroom when I was in Blackrock, and they were messers. And then suddenly the next year they weren't messers. They just knuckled down. That was a great expression. He knuckled down and he got to work. It's funny, the phrase waster was used a lot, directed towards me when I was a kid, and went in one ear and out the other. But it's funny, waster, you know, as an adult, you understand what they mean. You know, like life is quite finite, and there's only a certain amount of time. But that's the beauty about being a child and being a youth, being youthful, is that you have time to waste. That's part of being young.
Yeah, as a child, but maybe
it's being a waste. But anyway, this friend of mine,
adult.
obviously, you know, something clicked in. I think when he left school, he tapped into some entrepreneurial DNA that he had there, and I think he created wealth and was quite successful. So that was lovely to see. Thank you. Nice bloke. Really, really very fond of him.
Are you gonna see him again?
I don't know. Maybe. You know.
But you know, I was just thinking. So you don't have entrepreneurial streak, but you have political streak.
Who does?
You.
Well, no, I think
blood.
Well, no, I don't think so. No, I have a entertainment streak or something. I have an occasional moment of brilliance streak. But no, I do have a work ethic, and but the entrepreneurial thing, yeah. Well, it's funny, you know, because as a comedian, you know, I play these gigs in these venues all around the country. And sometimes you get a 70-30 door split. Sometimes you get an 80-20 door split. But it's funny, the little fees and charges that they add on to your, bill. And some clubs are very good and they give you a really decent slice of the pie. And then some venues, like it's on the verge of being, like they're actually robbing you. Like they put these costs and charges that shouldn't be there. But sometimes I have confronted venues and they have been decent enough to drop the costs. but it's just funny, like that people will it's kind of embarrassing almost that people will, you know, like, because it takes decades. Well, it took me decades to get to the point where I can actually sell enough tickets to make a fucking living. And then you get to that point, and then people, these third parties, kind of coming in and basically fucking taking money when it's just really unfair. That's why you need good representation. Yeah. I mean, Aidan, he's a good business head, but it's not Aidan Killian who's doing my tour manager. He's good in a lot of ways, but this wouldn't be his area of expertise. But he's very good. He's very good. He runs the Dún Laoghaire Comedy Festival, so he has got nous. He's got a business head in him. But I don't know. I think it's kind of, you have to negotiate a fucking contract before you agree to do the gig. Because sometimes you get these settlements after the gig, and you're going, huh? How much? 280 for? The fuck is that for?
Well, that was for the man who turned the light switch on at the start of the gig, and he had to be there. It's an insurance, it's an ecumenical matter.
Bollocks.
You see, everybody wants to have a piece of the pie. They don't really look at you and thinking, oh, Max Savage has been working for this for 50 years or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So it's the same, you know, like Jack was saying about going to a really good restaurant. People don't really look at the food and thinking that poulet was made like this. There's so many ingredients. They just look at this and devour, you know?
That's why, what's the guy who did Johnny Be Good? What's his name? You know, that we're down a
Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry, right? He was famously paranoid about getting ripped off. I'm not comparing. I'm comparing myself. I'm Chuck Berry, okay? I'm the Chuck Berry of comedy, okay? Fuck off.
Look at him with his delusion.
Yeah, thank God we have to be a bit delusional and egomaniacal.
A dreamer.
Who am I angry with? Okay, look, the point
It's
is...
a day of anger.
No, the point is...
Express
this
your
guy,
anger.
well, okay, him and a lot of other performers, Chuck Berry would only do the gig if he got paid up front. So I assume that this is from years of getting fucking ripped off. But if you think of so many performers on a high level
Houston,
have been just taken advantage of and just ripped off. If you think about the record industry and all these record producers who offer these young bands contracts. Meanwhile, if you set up your own production company, you'll obviously sell less records, but you make way more. So by selling one record, it would be the equivalent of selling, 50 records with a big established, production company. What's EMI? What would you call EMI or CBS or what are these? Production companies or record
company.
Not record companies. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a bit of a cold. Clearly,
Label.
record label. Yes, record label. Capital.
Yes. Death Row.
Death Row. So I mean, it's worth thinking about. Like, if you have a product and you know people want it, rather than go through a big, established label. Just do it small, but you'll make more profit. It's like sometimes, I did a gig, for instance, in Lily's in Sligo. This lovely, and you think Lily's holds 80 people. Now, they've set it up in such a way that they're happy to give you the room for free. But meanwhile, they make
money on alcohol.
Which is great. Now, it's a very rare situation. But like, you make really good money but it's a small crowd. And I think, if you, like you're talking about having entrepreneurial vision or just being smart at business or whatever, the product is one thing, but it's the framework by where you can sort of protect what you have financially. Because there are people, because I'm not in business. I mean, I'm not a bit, and because, if somebody came along, I wouldn't think, oh yeah, I'm just going to add this cost on, even though it doesn't represent. There's nothing behind it. I'm just going to try and trick them and just get more money, because I wouldn't think like that. But that's how a lot of venues behave. It is quite shocking.
But like nowadays, you can produce your music, you can write and publish your book. There's much more opportunities nowadays. To be self-made, really. Yeah,
it's funny. I did this video the other day about Simon Harris, and he was talking to a woman who's a care worker.
Yeah, care worker. Yeah.
And he has so little life experience, and he's not empathetic or something. He's quite young or something, and like. You're on the campaign trail. In the same way, after a gig, when people want to come up and take photos, I'm so happy to do that. Or anybody comes up to me, because to me that's a sign that I'm doing okay, and that these are potential ticket buyers. And I'm very grateful to people who buy tickets, because they sustain my fucking livelihood. So in the same way, these TDs, they're going out and about. All these people are potential voters, and they allow you to pursue your political ambitions, and you are there to serve them, fuckface.
Oh, you've forgotten.
You are there to serve.
Yeah,
but you don't. It should be baked into your thing.
Yeah.
And so he's there, and he's kind of all dismissive with this lady who's clearly upset, and she says, "Look, I'm very passionate about being a care worker and looking after people with disabilities." But that's what she said. But she didn't say, "I don't think you are not." But he made it all about him, because he's a dope. He's that generation of kind of people who, I don't know, haven't been challenged or fucking beaten up or something. Not beaten up, but just have just been told they're great or something like that. But he made, and then the apology he made. Oh, no, sorry, just the last thing was, she said, yeah, well, I don't think you're a good man. I don't think you're a good man. Well, if you don't think I'm a good man, then we'll walk away. But he doesn't transcend. You have to have a large consciousness around being a leader of the country. Anyway, the apology he made was, look, I am very passionate. It wasn't about you. Everyone knows everyone wants to look after people with disabilities. Well, actually. Anyway, but he made it all about him. And he's just off. That guy is off. He should not be in a position where he's a leader of anything. He should be. He'd be a good. I'm trying to think what would he be good at?
Dracula.
No, he'd be good. He'd be good at. No, I'm trying to think what would he be good at? Operating machinery or something. You know, he's not. Even if Simon Harris was my waiter, it'd be like this. Hey, Simon Harris, how you doing? Yeah, this Italian restaurant. Could you just cook the chicken a bit more?
Actually, the chicken is cooked exactly as it should be.
Wait a second. Sorry, I've paid money to be at the restaurant. I like my chicken cooked in some way. Can you just bring it back to the...
No, we don't do that. Excuse me. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. You're a waiter. The customer is right, you dickhead.
You just punch him in the face.
But he shouldn't be... I don't think he's the right person for the job.
No, apparently there was like 4 million views on X. For him, you know, that little clip.
Oh, yeah.
On X, on TikTok, enormous. And his campaign asked RTE to take down the video.
And I hope they didn't.
I think they did at the end, but it was viewed so much on X.
Okay, so I have to do another post about it. But anyway, I just thought his apology revealed how clueless and left of where he should be. And the fact that nobody... in Fine Gael.
And also that's his common behaviour. Somebody did a clip of his interaction with public and is, you know, usually dismissive of people. He just doesn't listen.
Yeah, well then see you. Good luck. Goodbye. You know, you should be, that's your job. You should love hanging out with people. And if you don't, it's not wrong with having a dream, Simon Harris, but pick the right one. And that's not your thing. But then again, you look at the other choices for, you know, they're equally bland as fuck. I don't know, who's the best possibility? Mary Lou McDonald?
I don't know. You like her hairstyle?
Do I?
Yeah, that's what you say. Presidential hairstyle. But anyway, she's much more approachable. Apparently, she's got the bracelet from some girls in the countryside, and she wore it during the debate.
You know, like you know, you have to be smart and charming and love working with people. So, you know, if you see a woman upset, like, you just go, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And you didn't do this. And yeah, yeah, no, look, I'm 100% understand where you're coming from. And you know, but she was, yeah, but it was funny. She said, yeah, go off and shake hands. Go on.
And he did try to shake her hand. But she didn't want to.
Anyway, it makes me feel like I'm living in a dream when I see this kid with his grey hair being leader of the country. I'm just going, and we get the leaders we deserve. Apparently, I really don't feel I deserve. I've done nothing bad enough to deserve a leader like Simon Harris. I think he's terrible. And then people and Irish people kind of, no, come on now, you know, come on now. No, not come on now. Let him work in operating machinery. But let someone else, you know, you can't have a guy like that walking off, you know, at a 747 in the States and going, hello, you know, fucking hell.
But there's no one else.
Gerry Hutch.
Yeah, but like...
Yes.
He would...
I bet you, but I'll tell you something, you know, as crazy as it sounds, like Gerry Hutch, I'm sure wouldn't be dismissive. I can't. I'm not.
No, I mean dismissive of what?
Gerry
I mean,
Hutch
he hasn't.
That's what you're saying, yeah.
But like, he cannot be Taoiseach. It's impossible.
I mean, I don't know.
Why is it impossible?
I couldn't.
He's
I wouldn't.
Independent.
You know, it's a difficult enough. You know, because you know, if you have no impulse control, which sometimes I don't. But and if I was in a position where I was running for office, you know, I'm sure. Would you fuck off? You know, you'd have people telling you. Oh, I don't know. No,
you're going on a campaign. That's your job, to talk to people, to hear their complaints. That's what Trump was doing, that was Kamala Harris doing. They're going to people and doing what people, doing their jobs.
Do they know what the polls are, Daniel? When is the general elections? Friday, is it?
Friday.
Yeah.
This Friday, is it?
Yeah.
What do the polls say? I'll just find out where we are. Irish.
But anyway, I don't think any party is going to win, so they're going to share it anyway. There'll be always two parties. Either it's going to be Sinn Féin with Fianna Fáil, and they will have to, collaborate. Oh, yeah, and Gerard Hutch, he was asked that he's being compared to Donald Trump. And then himself, instead of embrace it, he said, "Oh, don't start me with this." As if like he was better than Donald Trump. I mean, hello.
Irish polling indicator. The Irish polling indicator projected. Oh, for fuck's sake! Oh no. Latest estimates. It's all graphs and
pie charts.
This graph displays the development of party support.
And also after that clip, Fine Gael lost, a significant amount of support.
Yeah.
So it really showed how nowadays, one little clip viewed 4 million times can really disadvantage the party or show the real face of our Taoiseach.
Does anybody know what?
1 second, okay, let me have a look. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. It's much easier.
Okay.
Do you use ChatGPT?
Oh shit! Fine Gael are leading in the polls, are they?
Are they? I don't think
Jesus.
so. I mean, that people are stupid.
Oh no! Oh, maybe they're not. Is my cousin Chris Andrews a TD?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's with
Sinn
His
Féin.
posters up.
Sinn Féin.
So he got elected last time, did he?
Oh, he's for election now. He was elected, I think, last time. Latest polls in Ireland.
How long have we been broadcasting, Daniel?
Too long.
33 minutes.
It's always 33 minutes. Anytime I ask. Will I give Jack a call?
Yes.
Jockey, Mbappe.
Okay, so they,
Do you want to get him on Bluetooth, Daniel?
what do you say? They just so close. Because Fine Gael 22-23, Fianna Fáil 21-22, Sinn Féin 19-20, and collectively independent.
Jack,
20%.
is that on? Is it on Bluetooth?
Yeah, I can hear Jack.
Is it on Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm always amazed by the roadcaster. Sorry, Hannah. What were you saying? Hello, Jack.
I just said that they.
Hello.
Can you speak into the microphone, Hannah, and say hello to your son?
Hello, Jack.
Hello, mother.
Hello, mother. Mother.
I
Mother
like to be
dearest.
addressed. Hello, beloved mother.
Hello, mother. Mother, we have a visitor. Would you like to meet her?
Oh, who is it? Her. She.
Hannah, why is your microphone not...
I hope you don't mind. Mother is an octogenarian.
Hannah, can
David,
you point...
stop
But
commenting
it's unbelievable.
about
Just point
microphone.
the fucking microphone at your mouth. It's amazing.
I just think that you just like saying that sentence, no matter where I point that microphone towards.
But just not at your mouth. Everywhere but the mouth.
Daniel, are you against me? What's going on?
How have you ever given a guy a blowjob? That's a terrible joke. I'm so
You
sorry.
already done that.
Sorry. It's so bad in front of the sun. It's disgusting. God forgive us all.
God
and let's
forgive
pretend
you. That's
it was
a
never.
sin. That's a sin. And you know
What's
what
a
is
sin?
a sin? What is a sin?
Yes.
It's a missing the mark. You missed
It's
the
a
mark.
Polish son.
This is just like you missed the mark of a good joke.
Yeah, I
That's
died.
your sin.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Hannah. Okay, and that's my scarf you're wearing.
Yeah, because I'm trying to raise my mood.
No, you heard me say that, and you love that phrase, and you
Yellow.
stole it.
And I've got a yellow actually
Oh
like
God,
that.
she just.
Someone raising
Jack,
the
why is there
roof.
so much? It sounds
Jack,
like
would you
there's
stop
newspapers.
making noises?
Yeah, Jack always does that on the phone.
Jack, would
Sorry.
you stay still and stop slapping at whatever you're doing? Are you washing yourself?
Sorry,
or-
no, you guys just make me nervous. That's all.
So, Jack, what's going on in Amsterdam? I think there was some
Wait a second.
flooding.
So I'm going to do an impression of Jack on the phone. Look. Yeah. Yeah. Hi. What's that, Jack? I'm in Amsterdam. Why can't you just like put the actual phone on a level surface? It is on a level. It's on a level surface. It's so annoying. What's this anyway?
Yeah.
What is this, Hannah?
It's a credit union. Just put it aside.
Jesus.
I really hope Jerry the Monk Hutch comes on the show.
No, he hasn't appeared. He's a chicken shit.
Oh,
Hannah, would
Jesus.
you ever
Well,
calm the fuck down, Hannah?
And he could have
I don't think.
Just on behalf of the
fun.
family,
He
could
Jerry,
have
I think you're a
had
brave
fun.
man.
Hannah, first of
could
all, point
raise
the
the
microphone to your mouth.
we could raise the awareness.
Just do this. Look.
Look,
No, just do this.
what?
No,
Like this?
No, look like that.
This?
Just see where the tip of the microphone is.
This?
There you go.
Okay. Perfect.
Boy, oh
we
boy.
could raise the awareness
Okay.
of his policies,
So
how he can make Ireland better. And apparently he wants to clean up Ireland, clean up Dublin especially, from everything.
I like that vague sentiment.
Yeah,
it works well.
very Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, we're
I
we're
think he
gonna
wants to
clean it up.
clean up from drugs and maybe take it over and then resell it and make a profit.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay, Hannah, really, I worry. Like, I wonder. Sometimes is Hannah making sense and is she really contributing, or am I being just a bastard?
You bastard in a
And shut-
bastard.
I think you're being overly analytical.
Oh God! Listen to him with his university education. It's like suddenly our son Jack is over in Amsterdam and he's turned into an intellectual, and we're like just these simple peasants.
Well,
Hey,
I
fighting,
got-
we're fighting away, and he's saying, "Oh God, you're being very overly analytical."
David, I think
Yes, Hannah.
that I have a degree and you don't. You're the only one who has the lowest degree in this house.
That's true. Hey, okay, I'd like to. And by the way, we were supposed to make a bit of a thing about the fact whether Gerard Hutch replied to my invite to our podcast. And the minute we started broadcasting, you blab, "Hey, da. Don't you have any sense of theatre? For Christ's sake, we're an entertainment program." Not a like a, I don't know what you're like a Tesco worker. We should just get
Hannah's
a
Hannah's
Am
like
I
the female
fired?
version of
Am
Piers
I
Morgan.
fired?
yeah. So I said, "Hi, Jared. I'd love you to come on our podcast." Jared, as in the monk, Hutch. Talk about your political ambitions. Very relaxed atmosphere. I do it with my ex-wife and 2 sons. It's called "And That's Why We're Not Together." Cheers, David. And
I
then
don't think very relaxed atmosphere.
it is a very relaxed atmosphere. Very relaxed atmosphere. I would not be in the business of trying to do any gotcha questions with Gerard Hutch. Hi, David.
We could corner him.
Okay, but I got a response. That's the point. That was the big kind of suspense. The last podcast, Daniel, Hannah, Jack.
Yeah.
Thank you. Did you hear Jack Daniel on his on the? Did you hear that?
The first question you ask Jerry is Gerard, Mr. Gerard. You ask him, "What's your favorite hotel?"
Okay, Jack. That's Jack. And by the way, that's Hannah's poison in Jack. Okay, look. So we did get a response from official Gerard Hutch Instagram page, and it reads as follows: "Hi, David. So we will pass your message on to Gerard." So in other words, suddenly it was a personal message from Jerry Hutch to me, and then when I asked him onto the podcast, suddenly it turned into, we will pass your message on to Gerard. We really appreciate your support. Regards, Hutch Team Campaign. So
obviously they didn't pass, or
no, I just think they didn't want to say no. They just wanted to kind of.
Well, I think they're trying to build
he's
credibility.
a born politician, huh? Not straight answer.
Yeah, but I mean, I always think a good sense of humor is a sign of mental well-being, and he does have a good sense of humor. So I mean, apart from anything he's done or hasn't done.
Yeah, and him
Allegedly.
you listen to his interview. Him being in a prison for the second time, it gave him a lot of insight into his life.
But also, he's clearly cool under fire. He's in very stressful situations. He can see things. Maybe why not? I mean, prison. It's supposed to be about reform. It's supposed to be about rehabilitation and giving people second chances. And this kind of the sort of chattering classes looking down on these the criminal. So yeah, but I mean, surely people need a second chance. I mean, if we were playing the devil's avocado here, what is can we not see Gerard Hutch as a reformed human being?
Of course, he's what did they call him on that podcast? Retired criminal. They call him retired criminal. I didn't know that you can retire from criminality on that crime podcast. What is it called? He was on, so he was introduced as.
But
a
also
retired
the skills and sorry.
Yeah.
The skills and intelligence required to stay one step ahead of the could be also transferred and applied into the political realm arena, and he could be the backroom dealings of these kind of shuffling little fat-headed politicians and County Kerry and and Jerry the Hutch comes in, and he could be see, Hannah, you're so silly.
With the words.
Oh Jesus, Jack. Jack.
But it's pretty incredible, like how because he was in prison in Spain. He was in jail in Spain, and he posted bail, and he was allowed to run.
Allowed.
Yeah, because he's not convicted criminal, or he he takes all the boxes. He's not in jail. He's not a criminal. He's not convicted. So he just needed 30 signatures from his constituency.
Jack, he was. When you say he was,
is he still going to court? Is he free now completely?
No, he's gonna have a court case in Spain.
Huh?
Okay, so could he be put
because
to
he's
prison
on the
for a while?
bail, and he's still gonna. Yeah. He's investigated for fraud
in Spain. But they're hardly going to extradite him from Ireland to Spain.
He doesn't need to extradite. He will go back if he's got a case. He lives there. He's open about it.
We're in the EU. If you're wanted for a crime in Spain and you're in Ireland, and the Garda catch you,
Ireland will never be a part of NATO. And here's another thing. Ireland, we want affordable housing for everyone to but meanwhile, everyone in Ireland wants the housing prices to go up. So their most valuable asset, which is most people, it's a house. They want the house prices to go up. So there's a lot of people talking out of one side of their mouth and thinking something. I mean, it's such a clusterfuck.
But it's also the classic thing. People say, "Oh, the rent prices are so high," but then if they ever rent a room, they're not going to rent it like, "Oh, I'm just going to rent it like charitably," like just make a little bit of money. People are going to try and make as much money as possible.
It's just to me, there's something about the entrepreneurial apex, the Irish entrepreneurial apex dream is to own houses and rent them out, and that's it. And that's the only thing we can see. It's like, why are there so many pubs? I mean, historically, it was one of the few businesses, and so we got tons of pubs, but the side effect is that we got tons of alcoholics, and our profits depend on.
But
the expats are incredible businessmen. Irish abroad are
Oh yeah,
incredible
yeah, because they
businessmen.
they get room to expand. I mean, you know,
It's
if
like
if I was as successful in Ireland as if I was successful in the United States as I am in Ireland
Yes.
per capita,
Even in Germany.
I'd be very wealthy German comedians.
Yeah, even in
I would
Germany.
I would be playing in Munster and Baden-Baden, and I would be playing in Hamburg. Guten Tag, meine Schön. Schön, schön zu sein. Du bist sehr schön. Was magst du? I don't know. How do you say where are you from in German? Was du farm? Was du farmen? Was du für das Leben? Hey, look, Hannah. Was?
Kommen.
Ja, hi. Ich bin Komiker.
Ich bin auch ein Berliner.
Okay, Hannah, just stop trying to piss on my cornflakes.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Jack, what news from Amsterdam? As you know, Amsterdam was occupied by the Germans in World War II, and which didn't go down well. Which didn't go down well with the Amsterdam. Are there any remnants of German occupation in Amsterdam?
Well, of course, there's the Anne Frank house, but
have you been there? Have you?
It's always booked out, to be honest. So no, but it's kind of weird. There's like a bar there at the Anne Frank house. You know,
a bar where?
There's like people go hang out there at the Anne Frank house.
What do you mean
it's
a
like
bar
a
at
trendy
the
bar?
The
Jack,
drinking.
Yeah, like
Hannah. Can I ask my son
it's
Jack? Are you saying that in the Anne Frank house there is an actual bar?
Like not in the house, like because there's the original house, but it's all being like museumified, right? So
close to the house there is a bar.
But in the museum, there's a bar.
Can I talk to Jack?
But
how would you?
Because I've been there.
It's quite a somber. It's quite a somber thing to go to, you know. And then it's kind of funny that there's just this bar where people are talking, laughing, having fun. But the tone of the museum is quite somber, and it's probably a place to reflect on.
Did I tell you when I was 12 or 13? There was some English assignment in school, and I completely plagiarized paragraphs from Anne Frank. Did I tell you? So I just transcribed when I was 12 or 13. Anne Frank stuff, and then your man was the teacher going, yeah, okay.
Did he tell you?
Well, I don't know, I can't remember, but I mean, they know immediately.
But,
or they're probably back in the staff room going, this little prick.
They wouldn't tell you anything, or just ask you to write it again, or.
I was always in trouble. I just always
but you avoided English.
I avoided work. I just had no point to it. God forgive
they were like, at least he handed something up, like.
Jack, what's that noise? Would you stop shuffling?
Sorry.
What are you doing?
It's just
sit
Hey,
still.
Jack, how are things in Amsterdam? Yeah, and could you tell us about the Anne Frank Museum? Jesus.
There was a really
Why are you moving around? What sound?
Why are you eating
moving.
the microphone as well?
I'm not moving at all.
Yeah, you're not moving now. Now it's quiet.
Okay, well, the maddest thing that's happened in the city over the past month or so was I don't know if you guys saw on the news, the Maccabi Tel Aviv came to play a match against Ajax.
Mm-hmm.
So the team's obviously from Israel, and there's a lot of people from Muslim countries, Palestine, living in Amsterdam. But I mean, the Tel Aviv fans were singing through the streets like "Death to Arabs" and ripping down flags and everything. And then they were after the match, there was like a big group of them, and they were running around, like tearing stuff off walls and arming themselves and everything. And apparently, there was some of them got hunted down or something by they were like saying groups of Amsterdam's locals were on electric bikes hunting people down. There was some videos of people getting like knocked out. It's pretty violent. Someone got ran over by a car and everything. It was like the city kind of went a bit haywire for a night.
When group bloodlust or something, people in groups they get.
But was there reports on Irish news? I don't think Irish news reports all this.
Yeah,
did you
maybe
hear
not.
this?
But it was
Earlier today in Galway, at 3 p.m, a sheep fell off a rock.
I think that's what Irish news do, don't they? They just like.
But it's funny. There's no reporters there to actually video the. It's crazy. I mean, it's like the most interesting thing in Amsterdam that night, and there was no reporters there. The only reporter who was there is a 13-year-old kid who has a YouTube channel called Bender. And he's like this small Dutch kid who's got a really high-pitched voice, and he goes to like crazy places and does journalism. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's cool. I love that.
Weren't there people recording as well, like?
Yeah, there were people recording, and then there was one woman. She recorded a video where a guy's getting chased and beaten up and like punched and everything, and her video was taken by basically by I forget what the name is, but it's this website or this platform that takes the videos that people they buy the videos from people and then sell it to the news agencies. They're like an intermediate, and so her video was online. They found the video and they sent it to and they independently verified what the video was, and they sent it to news networks. And but they basically said that it was all the news places said that it was Palestinians or no, just like Amsterdam people hunting down Jews or Tel Aviv fans. But it was actually the opposite way around. She went out afterwards and she was like, "No, this was the opposite way around. This was a normal Amsterdam guy who was just walking around the city, and these guys just started attacking him. And they were like, a day or two before, they were attacking taxis and everything."
Oh yeah, but it's fun. Yeah,
all the news is completely like this terrible thing that these poor Tel Aviv fans, it's crazy. They were so.
It's funny, but when you think about it, like people are worried about this impending Armageddon coming, World War III. But I mean, to people in lots of countries, it doesn't matter. War is here. It's there. Also, so when you think about like the war in Ukraine and Russia, it's been fought on front lines. It's kind of like an old-fashioned war, if you want to call it. But what I'm trying to say is that like most people do not want to fight, don't want to see their children as soldiers, risking their lives fighting. But it is funny, like how why does war, for what reason does war happen? It's like the political ambitions of a few people and the patriotism of young men and women and people taking advantage of that. Go on now, you have to fight for your country. Well, fuck that.
Well, I was listening to the Rest Is History podcast, and they were talking about how Rome started to become a prominent power, and before Rome, Carthage was this big power. This kind of around 700, 600 BC into the 300 BC, and so there was all these kind of city-states and kind of not big empires and stuff, but kind of different city-states had more influence across the kind of Mediterranean fields than others.
Yeah.
So Carthage was always the kind of most powerful one, and there was always kind of people weren't like expansionist back then in terms of what they wanted with war. They didn't want to expand they didn't want to expand their territory. They just want to expand their influence, kind of, and then end up signing treaties at the end. It was more like a season. There was a war season. You go fight in the summer. Yeah. With whatever rival.
It's almost like they want to show. They want to protect what they have, and the only way they can do that is show that you can't walk all over us and that we are strong.
They wanted the other party to bend the knee in front of them and pay.
Yeah, but there's also kind of an understanding between both participants. Like, we're probably not going to destroy each other, but we're kind of going out, we're fighting each other, we're seeing who's going to have influence over these other cities.
Okay, but what's your point?
So my point is that then the Romans came, and they kind of changed the trajectory of that, where they were like, we're gonna fight all the time, and we're gonna completely expand our territories. So,
Jack, the sound of the phone. There's lots of scratching and screeching on the phone. But look, all what I'm saying is that I think 99% of the world have no interest in fighting war, and yet. So it's just so surprising that such a small group of people can have such an effect, and people are compliant. They go along with things. They suddenly are sort of not catfished. What's the word? Gaslit into believing that if they don't fight, if they don't fight and risk their life, if they don't fight and risk their life,
if you don't take a vaccine, you're gonna murder.
What were you going to say, Jack?
But what I'm trying to say is it's like we're not really in control of that. Like we're kind of set on a course, and we can make little adjustments here and there, kind of unforeseen things that come out, but ultimately, like, we're on a path set by, there's significant things that changed in history. One of the significant things that changed in history was how war was done.
Yeah.
Okay, and the Romans, they're so significant to our life now.
Oh, to our general approach to how we have to expand our territories. Yeah.
To societies, all this, the idea of the public forum, blah blah blah. But they changed the mentality of what war is. It's not influence. It's not conquest. It's expanding your territory, and they also had the mentality of. It's important how you're seen to your fellow citizen. So it's reputation, and with reputation comes don't disrespect me. So disrespect, all these kind of things, and but this is like, because the Romans became so powerful. These are the values that have been respected throughout time and history.
Yes,
and because they're the example that everyone tries to build.
And I think Putin is Jack. I've got your point. You've been talking for a long time. I need to talk as well.
That's all I want to say.
Yeah, okay, I got it, Jack. You know what I mean? You could have probably said that in 2 sentences. Okay, look.
David is bored shitless.
No, I'm not bored shitless, but I've got stuff. I have to do a self-tape. Okay, but the thing is, Putin has got that.
Yeah, loads of time to do it.
Putin has got what?
Putin has taken that Roman thing. He wants to expand.
That's bullshit.
What he wants to expand into territories.
No, he wants US not to build NATO stations along the Russian border.
Excuse me.
The minute Trump goes into the power, they make an agreement. Now. The war's going to be over.
We do, at some point, want to give you, very happy to announce and let you know that you have the opportunity to support us, because I know you want to. You want to keep this thing going, this special podcast with people who are in the know. And you are a special group of people. But no, we're proud proud that we will create wealth for ourselves and our family. So thank you, Jack, and I will talk to you about setting all this stuff up after I'll call you after.
Okay.
Sorry, Jack. No, because I'm going to try and wrap this up.
Okay.
I'm going to try. Thank you, Jack. Talk to you later. Okay, folks. Thank you so much for tuning into, and that's why we're not together. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much, Hannah. Thank you very much, Daniel. We're not that smart. Keep that in mind, and always remember our podcast is kind of good podcast to fall asleep to, because we're never going to give you anything too taxing. You're never going to have to. You don't have to concentrate too hard. We love doing it.
We can have a laugh, though.
Yeah.
Can you? I don't know. I thought you were funny. No.
Okay. Good luck tomorrow on doing makeup for the actors on Fair City. If ever the Russians needed to intervene, there it is. Russia, Fair City need to be controlled. Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, Daniel?
Yes.
I don't know.